Sodium.
Yeah, that man. I'm gonna shut up. I'm ready.
All right, man. Welcome back to another episode of the Epiphany podcast, where we sit up here and yap about a variety of miscellaneous topics with Marty. No, Midas. Wait, Midas. Man. Yeah.
Get your caffeine ready.
And today's topic is the same shit that a lot of people are probably talking about and is gonna always talk about, and we're gonna expand on it more. But AI in the art world, maybe in music, how it can help us, how it can potentially turn into iRobot. Yeah, so we're
Be Lucy.
gonna get into that. Yeah, you can finally walk around with an AI girlfriend. You don't worry about with all that nagging. Because then you can just unplug her. Just
Unplug her. It's great. Go sit down.
You can unplug the ones you got now. You just go to prison for it.
Or give them food.
Yeah, but then you have to plug them in.
Yeah.
Plug you in.
Yeah.
This is crazy. It's funny you say the iRobot thing. I recently have y'all have seen the photos, and those that follow me have probably seen the photos too. I forget their names. There's 3 of them, and they are robots, just real life robots. And you can go to Las Vegas and see them. They are housed at the Sphere, and you can walk up, talk to them, ask questions. They it's just like talking to a person. It's so kind of creepy. It's definitely kind of creepy. But I guess that's like a little more advanced than what we're gonna talk about today. Not even little. That's like way farther than what we talking about today.
No,
They
I
be
think
talking
it's probably
about.
up there.
You think so?
Yeah, if I have it my
probably
way,
not.
we gonna
Probably
get.
not at that level, but it's up there.
We gonna get into
It's
it.
up there.
If
Bro.
we don't,
It's up there, bro.
y'all gonna catch this in part 2 of this because it's definitely gonna be a part 2 to this. If I have anything to do with it.
Yeah, man. They everywhere right now. Literally everywhere. And I guess I'm trying to figure out how to kick this off. What y'all think? What's the
Art,
conversation to be had here? Art?
art.
All right.
Let's start there. Let's
Fuck it.
start there.
How y'all truly, how y'all truly feel about it, man? With the
Okay.
whole, Ghibli situation that happened, Rossdraws and Ergo Josh, and Sam does
Okay.
art. How y'all really feel about that whole, situation?
So I'm gonna say this first. I'm gonna say for you who's watching, y'all don't know, but I know. So I'm gonna go last because I feel like I'm in the middle of y'all. Like I don't. So
Yeah,
y'all go ahead.
yeah.
Y'all got extremes. I'm like,
We do got some streams. That's funny as hell.
It's like opposite sides of the spectrum. Should I go first as the yeah?
Yeah,
'Cause I think my stance is more like the Stone Ages. You feel me? Like this is the old way. Let's not look at the new gods type shit, right? You feel me? Like I'm gonna say this.
blasphemous.
Exactly. I'll give my actual wholehearted, heartfelt opinion on it. I think that it is. I don't say it's innately bad. I think it can be used as a tool. In fact, that's how it was introduced to me as a tool. And then shortly after, it got exploited, and now it's where it's at today, in my opinion. And so I guess I'll kind of start at the beginning, and y'all let me know if I'm rambling. But like back in school, I was always a traditional. I was pushing this for most of my life. And then right when I got to the end of my undergrad, um, I was trying to think of ways to kind of mix it up. And so I got into digital art. And I bring this up because, as we just heard, we just watched the Rossdraws, my side of the story video, and he was kind of like mentioning how, new things show up and you just want to kind of put your hands on them. You know what I mean? See what's going on, like get into like the nitty gritty and really see what's going on. And that's kind of how digital art was for me, because everybody at my school was like so hard up for this traditional, like you need to be using oil paints, like acrylics are cool but use oil paint like the old masters and stuff. And then you got me pulling up with digital art prints and they're like, whoa, are you using a computer to make this? I digress. I'm bringing this up because AI was kind of taught to me the same way. So fast forward a little bit, I've been doing digital art for a few years, and now one of my art professors in grad school is like, "Hey, there's this new website," and I'm gonna say the website, no plug here, but this is just fact, right? We use this website called Art Breeder, and basically you get on there and you can take different aspects and you press a button, generate, and it'll cook up some, as Ross said, I'm gonna use his words, art vomit. Don't no shit look real. It don't even look like art for real. It's just like textures and maybe you'll see a little something and it can get the ideas kind of flowing. At this point, yeah, this is a great tool. You feel me? It ain't like nothing crazy. Then you go a little bit further and it's been advancing. And we use this website called thishumandoesnotexist.net. And it's literally a computer. When you type in "this human does not exist," it'll just spit a face out at you. And it looks like a real picture, completely AI. And I thought that was okay because I'm just using it for reference. You look at this picture of a person that's not real that the computer has generated and you just make a real character out of it. Right? And so fast forward again. Now it's like you can just say, I want to see exactly this, and it'll show you that. And I think that's the part that gets me. Follow me here. I think that's the part that gets me because now there's no effort on my end. You get me?
I'm following.
Like in those 3 steps I gave you, the first step was transitioning from traditional to digital. That's hella work.
Yeah.
I can't go to the computer and be like, I need lines. Let me make lines. No, it's not like that. It's not
Yeah.
like that. I can't, you can't even really trace like that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
guess you can download a photo and do it like that, but I'm gonna keep going. The
Yeah.
next one, Art Breeder. That's not art. I don't know what this is. I'm just using it to try to get the juices flowing. Boom, this is great. Fast forward again. Now I'm using a reference image of someone that may be real or may not be real, just to draw, work on my craft. Then you take another step, and there's no work now. It's just point and click. Now we got a great piece of art. Wipe my hands, I'm done. And I think that's the part that I don't agree with. So I think maybe that's what makes me on the side of let's just not. You know what I mean? Like, let's just. I don't know. And I feel like it could still be used as a great tool, even in the state that it's in. And this may give me like slapped by artists, but it looks incredible. I will never not say that it looks bad. I will never not say that it looks good. Because it does. This is great artwork. It looks exactly like what you asked it to make. And that's a testament to technology itself, and I'm cool with that. But like, don't suck the soul right out of something that's supposed to be full of soul. You know what I mean? This is why we here, to breathe this life into the world, breathe this creativity out, and show people what we working with.
Yeah.
But now you taking all of that out. It's just a computer. You showing the world what a computer did that was programmed by somebody else. How was this programmed? By using someone else's artwork. So the computer is just like spitting out the same person's shit. And everybody's happy about it except for the person whose shit got stolen. And I guess I'm like splitting hairs, and myself, I'm a very small artist. I'm not like this. I'm not Hayao Miyazaki. So yeah, it's not affecting me like it would him. But like, you know what I mean? And as I want y'all to give some input, and it might help me give more input. So I'm gonna leave it right there. So I am a solid. Yeah, let's not. Let's just. If you are gonna use, I'll save that later. But just let's not. That's where I'm at right now.
I feel that. I feel that. We had this conversation, Marty. So you already know,
We did.
man. You already know, man. I fuck with it, right? And I'm
Mhm.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you why I fuck with it, because I see, I see what people don't see in a lot of things, bro. Especially with
Okay.
this, right? So, I just got back into drawing. That's the reason why I feel like I can now put my input in this shit, because I can, well, before I can actually, I can draw and shit, but just got back into it and whatnot. So I feel like now I can put my input in shit for real. But
Yeah.
that being said, I'm not gonna lie, I fuck with the AI shit. I do. And it can be a tool, an amazing tool. Now, I'm not saying someone just put some shit together and dust off their hands, but yeah, that's totally different. Those people that's doing that's not, they're not doing shit. I mean, because that's in music. That's the same thing. If I write for someone and they don't give me credit, it's sort of in that same thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's sort of like that. But with the AI, right? So I'm gonna give. How can I put this? Trying to figure out a way to word this, right? So
Hmm.
in terms of I'm just gonna use the Ghibli shit, right? So the whole little situation with that, when everybody was using it, right? I personally didn't see a problem with that, because one, it was a known style. Everyone knows who it is, right?
Hmm.
Two, most of the things that people were making, it was just people making profile pictures and memes. It wasn't like no one was creating art from it. It was like, yeah, man, look at what I made.
Right.
You know? So when that happened, and everybody blew up off of that, I was like, what's the problem with it? I don't see a problem with it at all.
Hmm.
You know? Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, bro.
not gonna lie. I seen that shit and got. I was kind of salty. I was like, every third post is somebody with this Ghibli style. I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck is this?
and then everybody was like, oh, why don't you draw it? Blah blah blah. Okay, that's like, right. Again, I'm finna use music, right? That's
Hmm.
like if someone makes a troll song. That's like me saying, bro, why don't you get in the studio and make a real song? Maybe they don't want to make a real song. Maybe
Right.
don't nobody want to draw, for real. You get what I'm saying? Like, a
Hmm.
lot of times people just do this shit because it looks fun. It ain't about because, oh, I want to do something with it, or I'm trying to. No, people just want to do this shit because the shit looks fun. A lot of
Hmm.
people that was doing it aren't even interested in art. They just did it because they liked it and they thought it was cool. And I guarantee you that they forgot about it within 48 hours. The
Yeah,
only people that's still talking about it and still worry about it is the actual people that art. The people that don't art, they just wanted to do it because it looked cool. They wanted to turn their family and their friends and memes and shit into Ghibli style. They did it and it's over with now. It's over with for them. They did it and it's done.
but that don't say nothing though.
No, because again, that's like me. That's like someone making a troll song and I get mad because they're not actually putting no shit into their music.
Right.
That's like I can't think his name, but he be making the doggone troll songs.
My first thought was double seaweed deluxe. Double seaweed deluxe.
That's funny. The black guy will be making the.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No, I
know,
think Courtney probably was talking about like Weird Al or something.
now
Not
Uh,
now
Fox, Zach Fox.
well,
That's his
Zach
name.
Here's
Fox
another one.
Zach
Here's
Fox
another
is
one.
one of them, and I fuck with Zach
Hmm.
Fox because he's funny.
I do too. He
Like,
funny as
Yeah.
heck.
and I'm not, and that's if I was, if my music did blow up and I was high and I was bigger than Zach Fox and I got mad at him, like, bro, why don't you get in the studio and make a real song, bro?
Right. Like you on this bitch playing.
Right.
Hmm.
Like you see how that turns
It kind of make.
from the art point, because
Yeah.
they're just doing it just because, you know, it's not taken away from you, because again, they're gonna forget about it in 48 hours anyway. For them,
That's a good take.
for them, the trend is over with. They did it. They liked it. They turned their family and friends and they memes and stuff into Gilby style. They had their laughs, and then they moved on. You know, it's like, again, it's not like they creating something. Like, oh yeah, look what I made, and trying to sell stuff, because again, 9 times out of 10, unless it was like old people, right? 9 times out of 10, they already know whose style it is. It's a well known style. Like even if you are not into like anime and all that stuff, you've seen the style somewhere. You're like, oh yeah, I recognize that. Like even if you don't know the name, you recognize it. So it wasn't like they was trying to profit off of it. They was just, again, family, friends, memes. Done and over with within 48 hours for them people. For that section of people, 48 hours it was done. Yeah. It's done. And how I can see AI being a tool, right? Because I already know, right? I already know if I actually put my story out, guarantee people gonna get mad when they found out that I wrote it with AI. Guarantee. You're gonna get mad, right? But here's the thing. Each character is literally a part of my psyche. So technically, the shit is mine, bro. From the character's personality to the way they supposed to talk to the way they interact with each other, right? I literally put all of that shit into the AI. From, again, how they talk, their personality, their height, how they look, every little bit of description for that character is in there. So when I type out how they interact with each other, and AI writes it out for me, it's in the way that it's supposed to be because of how I got it set up. So it's like having two figures talk to each other, but instead AI is writing it. You get what I'm trying to say?
I do. And yeah. I feel like it's multiple. Sorry, fan, if you got something to say. I'm just
you good, y'all. Go ahead.
I'm just kind of winging it. And I wanted to say, like, it's kind of, to me personally, it feels like how when people use it, that's when it gets, or say how people use it is when it gets dicey. You know what I mean? Like, I feel what you're saying. I feel what you're saying in the aspect that 2 weeks is gone, a week is gone, right? And that's probably to look back on myself and be like, that shit ain't gonna affect you anyway, because you still gonna be cooking when this is gone anyway. I hear you. I guess all I'm trying to say is that when you get into shit, like I seen one post where it was like, hey, if you want to know how to make this Studio Ghibli style thing with your AI, sign up for my course on how to get the right prompts. Then that's like, come on, bro. What you selling me right now? You're selling me a false dream to be Hayao Miyazaki. And that's bullshit. That's disrespectful to Hayao, that's disrespectful to teachers, and that's disrespectful to artists. That's fucked up. Or if, like, I know I'm like using kind of vulgar language. I'm not like triggered about this, but I'm just kind of talking. But it's, I don't know, I think it gets a little strange. Like, why can't you just do it like everybody else did? Speaking about like physical, like art, because writing is a different story. And yes, I do believe people will be mad, like they were that guy that sold his children's book. I don't know if you heard about that. Like when AI first came out, he basically made a children's book with AI paintings and AI writing, and sold it, and it made hella money. And then everybody was pissed at him when they found out it was AI. But like, did he do something wrong? I guess now that's my question to you. No.
Yeah, no. Because another point too is like people like to say, "Oh, it takes the soul," right? Everybody
right.
that was,
and I'm on that side,
and everybody that was reading that book, they fucked with it. They felt something from it. So does it really take away the soul? It only take away the soul when you realize what it is. Because,
or you start seeing the flaws,
right? Because I can, not saying that I will, but I can make a perfect, right. Let's say I create an image with AI, right, and I fix up all the mistakes, right, and I throw in some better shading and shit like that, better colors, right, and it blows up. Everybody, oh yeah, I'm feeling this, woo woo woo, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when they find out that I use AI, oh, now the soul is gone. But y'all was just feeling it 5 minutes ago. Y'all felt the picture.
Right.
Y'all understood, what was going on. But now that that you know that it's AI, now there's no soul. But 5 minutes ago, it was hitting y'all like rocks. Y'all understood the picture. Y'all felt the scene. You get what I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
say?
Yeah, I feel you.
It's a contradiction, and it don't make sense to me.
Yeah. And when Russ Draws and Sam and all of these other people had their like little situation going on, I felt like, where was I gonna go with that? I just feel like, damn, these people are notorious for actually making something. And right now I'm like not talking from my stance of like I don't think we should do this, but I'm just talking about it in general as a thing, as a tool, as something that's not gonna go away. Cause I can be on the side of fuck that shit all I want, but the world is not on that side. And this is gonna keep happening. So eventually we're gonna have to learn how to deal with it. But I don't agree with everybody bashing these people for using it in the tiniest bit of some work that you know to be good from this person's hand, from this person's brain. I just find it a little, I guess, a little, as you said,
Yeah.
contradictory.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, you don't want this person to stay tuned with the shit, but you're not fucking with their shit now. So
Yep.
I gotta start advancing because this computer gonna beat me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You gotta learn how to work with it because that's
Right.
like when you do your
Mm-hmm.
your digital art, Marty, right? And you know the I can't think of what it's called, but when it's like you take the little circle and you move the lines to where you
Lasso
want it.
tool. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You
yeah.
use that. That's like me, Mario, man. Why don't you just erase it and redraw the line?
It's like I could, but like I could, but the computer finna do it for me real
Right.
quick.
It
Let me
makes
just
your
grab this
job
line and move
easier.
it. Right.
Instead of you erasing and then you like, damn, it still ain't right. And then you gotta erase it again. You're like, when you could just boop 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 boop. Make
Right.
micro adjustments. Instead of erasing, you can literally make
I
micro
mean
adjustments.
the hardcore traditional people would be like, you shouldn't be making them lines anyway if you ain't got the motion right. You feel me? So it's
Yeah.
like it could go like really deep. So I guess I'm trying to figure out, is there, oh, I just came up with another question. Is there a way for this to be balanced? Is there a way for both your side and my side to just be?
It's already balanced. But the thing is, people don't want to see it. People are stuck on the 1%. It's just it's just like video games, bro. Just like video games, right? We know that things get balanced from the top down. They're going to adjust for the casuals regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
But most gamers, I'm using games. Most gamers are stuck on the 1%. The 1% are the shrouds, the Tim the Tatmans, stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. The high tier. Oh, why can't everybody play like that? Blah blah. Because everybody don't want to play like that, bro.
Right,
As a
right.
as a person that's competitive and it talks a lot of crap, a lot of people don't want to play like that, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is. Like at the end of the day, it's the 1%. Just like with the art, people are focused on the 1%. The 1% are the people that's doing the notorious things with AI. The
Right.
1%. Compared to everybody else that actually draws, y'all worry about the 1%.
Yeah, we pissed.
The 1%.
we're we're in front of courthouses with pitchforks. We're pissed.
Yeah.
This is
And
too much
it's
for us.
crazy because like granted, I'm not completely deep in the art world. So I'm just going to give a very, 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 very rough estimate, right? Let's just
Mm.
say out of every 10 artists, right, 2 is using AI art. The 1%. It's the 1%, bro. So now you get 20 artists, and it's 4 people. You see how this is going? Like it's always going to be the 1%. People are worried about the 1%. Don't worry about the 1%, because they're never going to get anywhere. Never at all. If we being real.
So eventually they're gonna fall off, and it's just gonna be us left anyway.
Yeah.
Or complete opposite. That's gonna succeed. That's gonna be the industry standard, and we're all out of jobs.
Doubt it.
Right. And
Doubt
also,
it.
okay, so I had this conversation the same day I talked to you. I posted. I think everybody's seen that post, and I got a lot of like feedback. One that got me was this person was so like nonchalant about it. Like, so what? And this is an artist. This is someone I know to be an artist, and I've seen their work. It's good work, and they like that shit don't faze me at all.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna still be selling.
Yeah, that's
And
how
I just,
you should think.
and it's hard for me to think that, because I still got people in the same conversation saying, fuck that shit, that's crazy. I'm sorry that this is happening. This is wild. What about the respect of the artist? You know what I mean? And I don't want to say I'm like moving away from that, but I don't know if this is the winning side. I'm okay with losing, but it's like, damn, what do I do as an artist now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me say one last thing. One last thing.
Okay.
With the whole losing the jobs thing, that would never happen. The reason why that would never happen, because the chances of us, I'm gonna use iRobot, right? The chances of us even getting to that level in our lifetime is slim, bro. We're going to be dead by the time AI gets to that level of iRobot. And the reason why I'm using that is because AI is still a computer at the end of the day, right? Computers still are faulty, which means you need people to fix the computers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be one of those like scales, which is why I don't think people are going to lose their jobs. Because let's say, right, the AI, the computer goes down in the company, right? They can't get it fixed in time. They gotta go. They gotta get artists now.
You gotta find an artist now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
the person. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and as a person that works with computers, I would be honest. Depending on the problem and how big it is and the coding, it could take a minute. So yeah. They're gonna always need backups.
The person I was talking to about this also kind of said that. They were like, you sitting at work right now talking about this as an artist. You think this machine is gonna replace you right now? And I was just kind of like stuck, like, no, I don't think this machine can do my job right now. So why am I worried?
Yeah.
I guess that's more of a like question to pose to myself.
Yep.
Like, should I even care that people are doing this? Because even when it came around the first wave, before it was good, when people were doing the icons and making their profile pictures, I was like, what the fuck is this? Even then I was saying that, but it never, like, I was still getting portrait commissions after that. Like, they weren't like using that only, you know, I was still getting work. So I don't know. I guess I wanted to say my stance first, but now I'm just expressing my thoughts. Like, damn, is this something that's gonna defeat me in my craft? I don't know. And that's why conversations like this are cool to have, because you got somebody on the polar opposite, as in you, Courtney, and then you got somebody else in the center who has yet to talk. I'm gonna let them talk. So, but yeah, it's cool seeing all aspects of the story. But I'm just wrapping my piece up by saying, like, it is kind of sad to see when artists that are known to be good try to do the same thing that nobody's are doing and being successful and are getting bashed, and now their whole careers are in jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When the person that used the AI should have never had a career in the first place. So yeah.
Yeah, I see that. One last thing, then let fan take it. Um, I did want to say that again, right? The whole little thing is still the 1%.
Still
Still,
right,
still the
right.
one
Because I
percent,
did
bro.
I did mention 1%. Right.
It's still the 1%. To this day, to this day.
To this day. All right, fam. My bad. We yapped enough. It's time to
No, it's
let the
cool.
demon loose. Go
Yeah, I know.
ahead.
I'm the certified yap. I love hearing y'all talk. We can
Go
I'm
ahead.
damn near gonna sit back and go last from now on. I'm with it. But yeah, and I'm trying to do better at not being so long winded. So it was good for me because I got the right bullet points on things. So like, one, my stance is neutral, not neutral like I don't give a fuck though. I'm neutral like I'm wary of what's happening.
Hmm.
Like both sides are scary to me. Like, and I want to make sure I say that because that's where it keeps me neutral. Because whenever I talk about this to anybody who's nobody or anybody who's anybody, I'm saying it's just a fear-based thing to me. It don't really matter because it's a fear-based thing. It don't matter what analogy you use in life to me as a human being. One of my bullet points is pretty much work is always gonna win. The long suffering, the due diligence, the morals and ethics of a human is what's gonna make the difference to me.
Hmm.
But I am wary as I'm looking at like there hasn't been a single thing in existence and that I'm aware of outside of like what is it, the industrial era where we pushed something so hard. Like I think
Hmm.
that's something that needs to be making or there has to be a note taken for this because like I could let Courtney fly with the 1% thing, but then like in the background, the 1%ers are the artists. Like it's not too many people who are choosing to embark on the journey of trying to make a living off what's in their head and then putting it out.
Hmm.
But now if you're trying to level the playing field for that 1% to all the masses, so now it's that 1% versus the guy who was really good at business. He was selling houses. He worked for corporate. That guy now has his hand on AI, and that is the guy who's trying to sell courses on how to use AI and prompts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And they are making money. And so like I'm watching that and that's on the negative side and I'm wary of it, but I'm also like, okay, so how are y'all handling this? Because then again on the music side of it, right, when we was using that analogy, it's like no one gave a fuck about the dudes who was making the joke raps, right? The parody raps, but those guys, you needed to be taking notes from them too, because they weren't signed to nobody. And they was getting pulled off of what was high, the
Right.
art that was high. So they making money and no one took notes on that. You know what I mean? So for me and
Hmm.
AI in that regard, I'm like, are we not gonna pay attention how this is gaining traction from so many people? Like, I don't know. I think like yeah, it's cool. People could just make a quick profile picture of themselves, but also those same people weren't going out and looking for artists to make a profile picture for themselves. It probably never crossed their mind.
Never even thought about it. Right.
And so for me, it's like one of the bullet points I had was long term versus short term. And short term, it's the notification button on your social media. It's cool. That's addictive. It's like, oh shit, I could just do this real quick.
Right.
And like, I guess, like, yeah, it's cool, but then long term for anything that's quick in this life, it's like, what's the trade off?
Mm-hmm.
Because anything that's quick is always more damaging. If you over here microwaving your food, you losing nutrients.
Hmm.
Versus if you put that sucker in the oven,
Losing all
like
that good news, baby.
all the good news, bro. So I don't care what the analogy is. Like I can't have an argument about it because I still feel like it's too soon. But the thing that sends my antennas off is like the fact that we live in America. The fact that we got a president who literally has a movement pushing for AGI, where what you was talking about in Vegas becomes the normal.
Right. Right.
Because the real goal that he also uttered was super AI. He wants that to be the real goal, and that's within the next 10 years.
I don't know this one. I know about
So this was
AGI.
said within like the first week of his term, bro. And this is why I was like, yeah, this is going to be a conversation from here to kingdom come until we're over here with a robot walking around in our house like iRobot. But for me, I'm still not panicking over it just because, like I said in the beginning, it's the suffering versus the long suffering and the morals versus the cool and the now. Like, I go to the gym and I'm working out and I'm minding my business. I'm not concerned about the people who are out in the world big as hell taking those Olympics.
Right.
Bars.
I
Right.
know when I'm moving this heavy weight that my bones are getting stronger. I know that I'm building my body up the hard way. I'm picking up the hard thing that no one wants to do.
Mm.
While the person who's doing the easy thing and popping something, now they're losing the fat, but now they're losing their muscle and their bone too. There's always negative repercussions for the quick thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the scary part about AI is it's something that's conducted by big brains, by big corps, by things that are people who will never show you the negative side. They know in whatever the agenda is and what they're trying to push in the background, but it's probably going to take us about 3 to 5 more years to see where this is going to head. And maybe less than that if people get the funding, which they are,
Right.
to do this. You know, I had hella points, man. One of the things I was saying was I put this in a line. I put consuming for inspiring. So like whatever you consume, right? That's the thing that gets the fire going and now makes you want to do the thing. Exercise, obviously, that's the work. Failure, that's the time and the passion that you put in. Because yeah, your lines suck. You got to keep doing that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is anything. I'm gonna keep it for the art. And then the last thing I had put was success, right? And that's your vision of a goal.
Right.
All this gets murky with AI because it's just consuming and then success. It's like whatever your goal was, it got rid of the middle. And so, for what I can see in terms of longevity and why that's a problem, is now you're killing, like, consuming is for us Cartoon Network, it's Disney, it's Nickelodeon,
Right.
it's anime. I want to draw like that. And so you're pursuing a thing and you're trying to get the thing. But now, okay, this is where I mean when on a bigger scale I'm concerned. Now, if a person gets to know how to do or use AI and the prompts and they're really good at it, hypothetically, let's say it does become industry standard, does that mean my little homie over here who just got in high school can get a job with one of the big animation, or not animation, but just a team? Can he get a job with an art team on the next big thing because he knows how to whip this up? Because now we got issues.
Right.
And I say it's an issue because I don't know. I feel like it's the same as if you get a manager who's never done your job. And then it's coming to you for tips. That feels disrespectful. It's like, dude, I should have your spot. It'll feel like that.
Right.
Like you don't deserve this. You know you don't deserve this. Why you here for the money? There's no passion in it. In that regard, in the goal. Like, why are you here? Does that make sense? I'm like,
No, that makes
I'm
sense.
speeding through this, huh?
I was
No,
gonna
that makes
say.
sense. Go ahead.
I was gonna say yes. It makes sense. I agree with both of y'all, but that kind of like. I feel like that's forgetting about the person that made the hire in the first place. That's the person we need to be worried about. Cause yeah, little bro that just used the AI got in here, and yeah, he probably not gonna succeed. But the person that hired him don't give a fuck. What
And that's
they
why,
want is the prompt. You
and
know
that's
what I mean?
why
They
I
want
was,
the results, not the prompt. They don't care how it gets done. They just want it done.
and that's why I was arguing, or not arguing, but having opposite side of what Courtney said for the 1%. Because if Disney's using AI in the promotion, bro, like,
No,
people don't care. So if you see that the masses who aren't in the art field, who already outweigh the art field in terms of percentage, is cool with the thing, then you, the corporation who just cares about making money, want to appeal to all those people.
yeah.
Be like, fuck the artist. I'm finna pull all these people who don't know what from what, and y'all finna come look at this. Y'all don't care about quality.
Right.
Yeah. One little tidbit.
Like this.
When I was talking about 1%, I want to talk about the 1%. I was talking about the 1% of the people that's using.
Right.
The ones that.
But I'm saying
the ones that not like the Rossdraws and all them that was using AI.
No, you're talking about other people.
Yeah.
Who do art.
No.
And I'm saying
I wouldn't say that people that strictly does AI art does art. I think there's a big difference between that. That's why I call them the 1%. Because I don't think that they actually do art. Does it make sense?
No, it is, but they're not the issue.
No,
and I thought that was your point too.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Though that's the 1% that I was strictly talking about. Right there. The ones that they used AI art, that put it into like ArtStation and whatnot and all that. I was talking about that 1% that doesn't actually really do art for real. They're just doing the AI art, trying to create it as their own. Those are the 1% that I was talking about, that no one should really be worried about, which is causing all of this because they're filling it up with ArtStation because they can produce it faster, which is really nothing they should be worried about because again, it's a 1% over the whole thing.
Right, it's gonna start looking like trash.
Right.
You're gonna be like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
It looks like AI. You're gonna know.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be looking for that real artist anyway. I feel where you're coming from.
Yeah, but in terms of the big 1% that fans talking about, I understand that point. We'll continue, G.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, that's why the bigger portion of the pie is the reason why I think AI should be like considered an issue. I don't think it should ever not be considered an issue. I think it's concerning how many people prefer fast food over a cooked meal. That's the reason why it's concerning.
I
it's
have
like,
a question.
Go ahead.
Based on what you just said, is it wrong for it to, not wrong, but like, would it be okay if there were restraints on it?
I feel like if they got the legality out of it, like where you have people who don't mind their work being used as reference for AI art, yes.
Right.
But there's no shackles on this thing.
To showcase everybody, like, all right, sign up. Do you want your work to be studied? What about all of the like older people? What about like the Picassos and stuff like that? They can't say no or yes.
Right.
Is that public domain now? And now it's just automatically taught to the system? And ain't nobody got to say?
And that falls into morals and ethics, and I don't know how to feel about that because it's like, where do you draw the line in that? Like for people who have died, like, That's what, again, this is why AI to me should always be concerning. And I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it because it's kind of like when you start to learn programming to any degree, they start talking to you about ethics. Because we're teaching you how to no longer be a user, right? Because now you're a programmer. Now you get behind it. Now you're able to get behind like this screen and everything. What? And then it's just I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think people don't think about that, and that's why I want to get mad, but it's like I need more time. That's how I feel about AI, because I feel like this whole thing is pitched from those people who do program all of this. Y'all know full well about ethics. And you're going to release this thing to the world who don't care about the next person. And this thing does grow. And the people, and this is why I posed it like that for corporations, because there are people who can get these numbers. We know who it's reaching and how well it's working. And we're getting data back. Like, don't play me. Y'all know. And this is why I'm like, this is, for me, like I said at the beginning of this video, this is only part one of many, because our president now said that he is going to be pushing this. Literally have millionaires coming over from other countries to the US to make AGI so we can get to super AI. And that has fuck all to do with art, right?
Mhm.
I just wanted to start the conversation with art today because that's the little man.
It's the gateway. It's the entry.
But that's the scary part. It's
Mm-hmm.
this big of a conversation, and the art people are the little guy. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for the next portion of the conversation. Have y'all seen this thing? And this, I'm just gonna have this as an entry point. I'm not gonna keep going on this particular topic, but have y'all seen the thing with Walmart and their self checkout thing?
No.
All right, so brief overview. So they put so many self checkout things in all of their stores that the theft went up.
Yep.
So now, to counteract that, in order to shop at Walmart or purchase anything, you would need a membership to even scan something. And if you don't scan it, then you're automatically locked up. But now you're putting a subscription on you have to pay for the merchandise within the store.
So if you want to use self checkout, you gotta have a membership for self checkout.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to the person who checks you out.
But it's been like. But what's funny is it's been like that. With Sam's
No,
Club,
you didn't have to.
and
For
Costco.
Sam's Club,
But
even then,
Sam's Club is a part of Walmart. That's the funny thing
but I'm
about
saying,
it. It's
we've
been
never
like
had
that.
something where you can't scan. You try to scan that and you don't scan the membership, you're not scanning shit.
But that's the thing. Well, you work at Sam's Club, so you know. You can't even come in the joint unless you got a membership.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. And I ain't gonna hold you. It's hard to steal from Sam's Club because if you, unless you know the person, but other than that, bro, they don't be playing, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's crazy.
So for that just to be potentially the new norm, that's why I'm like, for AI in general, bro. And I only brought the self checkout thing in because it is a part of the robots versus people topic, you know.
I agree.
But that's why I'm like, I'm not gonna linger on that. I think the issue for me, even though I am neutral, I've been bringing up a lot of negative points, but I am neutral. I just think that there are bigger issues that don't get touched on enough for me. Like, I'm not here concerned about artists losing jobs because, like I always say to you guys, it's like I said this off camera, but the people who are really good at playing piano, if you pop up in a mall or an airport and you're playing something beautifully, everyone's gonna pull up and watch real time. And if you post it, you're gonna get millions of views. It's special.
Yeah.
There's nothing you could take from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing to me for literally anything. The other example for that is, and I use the rap because I'm not here to diminish the rap. I'm here to say, whether it's Metro Boomin or Roddy Ricch, and I'm watching a full live orchestra behind them playing their songs, it just hits different every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's real life versus the electronic, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I had another thing to say though. Like, this one is for I think humans more so. Like, it was two sides of this. It's one, I wrote down a quote from Ultron real quick of him quoting humans. He said, "What doesn't kill them makes me stronger."
Yep.
And that's really just it. It's like, as a human, you gotta figure out how to navigate the emotions, yo. And I'm a segue from that into Miyazaki because I think it was Courtney I was talking to, because there was a meme before any of this Ghibli AI art thing that was going on. But it was a picture of the creator of Uzumaki, the scary or horror anime,
On
versus
HBO right now.
versus Miyazaki. So the characteristics of the person is bubbly and fun and live, and yet he makes all this super dark stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Miyazaki makes all of this beautiful art, but he is a dark guy, like he himself. So my point for saying that out loud is that artists are notoriously known for being overwhelmingly passionate, even if it's aimless. It's just they're passionate. So of course, this batch of people are going to be outraged because you're touching their stuff. It's
Right.
not going to be an objective view where the emotion is removed. It's like, hey, back back up from my. You
Mhm.
ain't ask. You
Yeah.
stealing. And like until we can get a legal crew, because that's what legal crews are for, to take the emotion out of it and say what's what. Until we can get that in order, I don't think that it should be just a freely used thing. You know.
They should pull it back some a little bit.
Yeah, but the problem is, and this is another whole topic that we could have on a later date, is that the world is changing too rapidly. Like even with online courses, school and what is labeled as prestigious is up in the air right now, which is a whole nother thing. You going to the school of your dreams versus being taught by five of your favorite of whatever
Yeah.
actor, artist, athlete. It's like it's
That's
tough.
gonna get you to the prize quicker, but it's not the norm.
And that's what I mean. Because
Yeah.
norm is just not the norm. Right now, right through here, all of this is uncharted grounds and everyone's trying to figure it out. And that makes everything of what's being discussed from AI to just learning in general murky right now. It's
Yeah.
really murky. At least before when it was just school and college, there was some grounds where people would be like, no, because such and such. Now it's like,
Mhm.
do you know? Because I don't. It.
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's throw it all at the wall. Let's see what sticks.
So I see like that's kind of a funny conversation. It's kind of side note. Like when you see like little like cousins and nephews and nieces and shit, and they like, yeah, I just chose not to. I'm like, you chose not to go to college. I'll
Yeah.
be freaked out. Like, what are you about to do? And here I am sitting here like, fuck, AI is gonna take my job. So I'll just, even though I went to college twice, so I
Mm-hmm.
just, it's definitely a weird ball game to play, and I like how you put that. I don't know. I just like that this is uncharted. We don't
All
fucking
of it.
know.
No one knows.
And that's kind of why I'm like, yes, I'm be fully transparent. Yes, I do get super emotional when I see AI art. I don't know. It just happens. I feel like this is crazy. And then I look and it's got a million likes and views, and I'm like, shit, this is even crazier. But all that to say, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it tomorrow. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it next week. They might come out and update, and I'm like, fuck, this is gonna help me. But I do know, me personally, and this is what I was gonna say earlier. If I was to use it, it wouldn't be to steal. It wouldn't be
Right.
to sell. You know, I would use it as a personal tool for myself to make the art that I am creating better. What that means, I don't know because I don't even know really how to make a prompt. You know what I mean? I'm like still
It's
trying to figure that out. I
it's
don't even
not
know.
even it's not even called. I okay. I don't. I'm trying to put this in a word. I don't know why it's called a prompt or whatever, right? Because really, for again, I'm gonna use the Ghibli shit, right?
Hmm.
All you do is let's say I take a picture of a fan, I upload it and be like, make this into Ghibli style. So it's gonna take fan's picture and it's gonna turn it into Ghibli. So I
Oh,
guess
see, it's even
so
simpler than I thought
so
it
so I guess that's
was.
a prompt or whatever. But I mean there's way more advanced shit with it, whatever. But again, you don't really have to get all that advanced. So the whole selling the course, it's all a scam. It's a fucking scam.
Right.
Like it is what it is. But to Marty's point, he said he think they should slow down, right? I'm on the other internet, and I think they should speed up, and I'm gonna tell you why. And it's not to what I've been talking about. It is because me personally, I am the type of person that does multiple things at once, right? Uh, Now that I get back into drawing, I'm doing that. I'm trying to create a fucking story. I'm still doing music. I am trying to get back into streaming, right? I'm trying to do multiple things that have multiple sources of income. That is my main goal, right? And I'm still want to create. I still want to have multiple sources of income by doing things that I actually love, right? So that's why I think it should advance more. And the reason why I say that is because if it gets to a point with like the whole super AI, robot shit, bro,
Mm-hmm.
do you know? Okay, when we was creating, helping create the story and whatnot, and we was talking, bro, do you know how hard it is for me personally, right, to explain what the hell is in my head half the time, bro? Like, if
Mm-hmm.
I was able to take every image of from my story, right? If I was able to take every image, bro, that's in my head now and project it onto the screen, y'all will be amazed of how this shit is supposed to fucking look, bro. Like on some real shit.
Yeah.
And I don't have the time to be able to draw all that shit out, do the editing, uh, try to hit the studio, try to find time to stream. I don't have time to do that. So if I'm able to hook up a big ass fucking helmet on my head and have that shit read my brain and project it onto the screen, I'll take it, bro. I'll take it. I'll take it any day,
Yeah.
any day, because I can do that while I'm editing, bro. Like I'm killing two birds with one stone, bro. Right there. Like whether people want to say it takes the soul. How when it's coming from my head, bro? How does it take the soul if it literally comes from my head? How? Explain it. Explain it. How? How? So you mean to tell me that the character I created is not a part of my psyche, bro? Because I literally created the character from my psyche. Like the character is literally the crazy shit's going on in my fucking head, bro. So you mean to tell me that my character doesn't have soul because I use AI to make it? That's bullshit. Bullshit.
No, I think it's less about I think that point is less about the writing aspect and more about the producing art.
But that's the thing. If I use AI, right, to draw the fucking character that's in my head, I have the description of the character. If I put the description in from head to toe, and it creates it exactly like that, head to toe, is that not my character?
It's your character, but it ain't your hand.
But
So it
how
ain't
is the
got that
soul gone?
connection.
How? What's the connection? It's literally from my head.
It's kind of like you asking it to produce a style that you don't have. You know what I mean? Like style is not a thing. You can't grab it. It's natural. You know what I mean? So like Hayao Miyazaki's style is how he paints,
Right.
how he draws. This ain't no computer. This ain't no, you know, there's no way for the computer to go, this is my style. Because everything it knows is trained.
Right, I get that, and I get that, but how it does it, right? We all seen how the AI art does the shit. Well, when people create the prompts, I'm gonna say that when people create the
Hmm.
prompts, when you just create an AI of an image, right? That's totally fucking different from using a certain style, right? Because it takes from a whole bunch of shit. It's not. I'm
Right.
not using a certain style. I'm just saying create the motherfucker.
I don't know how to drive the
Because
point
it
home
has
that
it
is.
has that fucking I don't know how to I don't know how to describe the look of it, but it does have a certain look to it. Like when you just create a general, right? I'm just gonna use general, no style, no nothing, no. Hey, make this from a curator, none of that, right? Just AI has a general look to it, right?
I agree. I
Right,
agree.
but again, I'm not using any style at all. I'm not saying make this a nothing, bro. From head to toe, how this character is supposed to look from my head.
So I guess I want to ask you a question.
Yeah,
So when you're feeding into this, right, and you press generate,
right.
when it comes back out, say out of 5 times, How many times is it gonna come back exactly how you pictured it in your head?
Probably at least 3 times.
Hmm.
And if
And those other two,
and if a person is smart, they will take each one from all 5 images, take certain parts from each 5, and you create the character right there. That's how it
but
can
you don't
be.
think?
That's how it can be used as a tool. In terms of that,
I guess I'm trying to think of how I want to like put it. You don't think like you could have did that in one take if it came straight from you?
but how if I don't have the time? This is the point I'm getting at.
Oh, it's the time. The
The
time. Okay, okay.
I'm speaking
I'm
personally for
following.
me.
I'm following.
Personally for me, as a person
Mm-hmm.
who's trying to stream, write, edit, do the podcast, create a fucking story,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
draw it out. I don't have the time to do all 5. So again, if I do that, how can you tell me that my character doesn't have a soul when it came strictly from my brain? The only difference is I didn't sit down and draw. And I can sit there, I can do it. I can draw it with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have the time. So again, how can someone
Okay.
tell me that my character doesn't have soul if it literally came from my brain? If I literally have my characters written down from, if I wrote the origin for my character, how they are supposed to look, their hair color, their nose shape, their personality, their weapon that they're using, their height, their ethnicity.
Mm-hmm.
How you gonna tell me my character ain't got no soul, bro? All because I didn't take the 3 hours or so, personally for me, 3 hours or so to draw it.
I don't know how to answer that.
I for sure could go on a tangent, but I don't know if it's worth it. Nor do we have the time. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like that argument for me would be, I don't know. Maybe it's just because of me and how I think. It's like, this is what I mean, because there are a bunch of people like a Courtney, and this is why I'm like, let's just see where this goes, because
Right.
it's gonna be like some type of, and this is like my prediction, right? Off the cuff,
Mm-hmm.
out the blue. It's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
some type of new term for people who care. Because what this breeds as a human being is a bunch of people who don't need community. But if you have a bunch of those, yeah, you can have a bunch of shit pop off and be thriving. But then it's going to be a bunch of people who don't do well with others. And now you're dealing with people who don't do well with communicating. And AI is a tool at the end of the day. But anything else in life, when it's required for you to develop your craft and take time, you're learning things simultaneously. It's like when we're playing the game. If the game is the tool and the controller is the tool, I'm learning a bunch about a person's personality because now I get to see how well you use your other tools. I see people who have high functioning brains because I'm watching them try to do the thing in the game, but now their mouth can't keep up. Your communication is lacking. You're not communicating with the team. Now everybody can't move with you, like
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. AI goes towards that. It's like it's going to be a lot of high functioning people doing a lot of things. So again, I just want to see how this goes on
Yeah.
a community scale or a world, a global scale. I want to see that because yeah, and this is a whole nother spin on it. Like that argument is exactly what people say about spirituality. It's exactly what people say about God. And then they say it's not enough. Like they believe in something that is unseen, and then they're like, how you gonna tell me this don't So like I
Yeah.
get you. I get you.
Mm-hmm. I definitely feel it too.
And that's why I'm like, I
I
don't know.
get
We gonna see. I mean, that's all I could. That's why I was like, at the end of the day, I'm neutral, but I'm
Yeah.
neutral on head, like leaning towards the side of yeah, this about to be real messed up. But I'm just buckled up though. We finna get a whole lot of cool stuff on the way, but I just think on human, not human, not human, not human. On this plane of existence, this is magic, y'all. For y'all watching. It is impossible for you to do something and not sacrifice something. I don't give a fuck how cool this is. Just be ready for the backlash of what we're gonna lose on the other side of what's cool. Because if we're living in the reality of a what was that anime of a Sword Art Online, where we're all here with the thing on our head, with toilets hooked up to our ass, because we ain't gonna get up, and my credit card is burnt into my brain. I'm sorry, I'm gonna touch grass. I'm gonna leave all of the new creators. I'm gonna leave it to y'all. I'll be out here just managing y'all shit while
Yeah.
y'all doing it, cause that's yeah, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, for sure. And then all of y'all who over here and y'all artists, my quote for y'all is: lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. Stop giving a fuck. Just keep creating shit, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody gonna win at the end of the day. It's enough money being printed every day. Y'all gonna be able to make money either way, on either side.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on where you're looking at it.
Another thing I wanted to add too, because I was just thinking about this, right?
Mhm.
And low key, I'm gonna keep saying this. Low key makes everybody's life a little bit easier, right? Because now I'm gonna use music for example, right? Remember we had the whole thing with the fucking holograms and shit, right?
Oh wow!
Right? Remember that, right?
Flashback,
Right?
yeah.
So now picture this, right? AI does get good enough or whatever, right? And the holograms get more advanced. I can now do multiple shows in multiple different cities
At the same time.
at the same time. Marty, you go.
Oh,
Let's say you get an AI robot, right?
Mm-hmm.
The motherfucker can clean your house. You got more time to art.
That's fact.
So
That's fact.
the whole, taking our jobs. I feel like people that are artists, whatever, home creators, shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it gives those people more time to do what the hell they actually love.
Mm.
All the dangerous fucking jobs, send the fucking robots to do it.
That's fair.
I like all the people that's on oil rigs. You know how many of them die a year? Send the
It's kind of
robots to do
fucked
it.
up.
Send the robots to do it. You know?
but that's why people would be mad right now, because that's not what the trial run was for. I wish AI's trial run was for my taxes. I wish AI's trial run was for my stock portfolio. I wish I wish you tell me exactly how I'm fucking my money up, like, and we could just get straight to this. And then, like, literally, I could think of stuff that they could have started with, but instead they are starting with the stuff that humans want to do. I want to write a book.
Mhm.
I wanna try to create some stuff in my image, like
Yeah.
how I see it.
Okay. I got 2 points.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry if I cut you off. You can
No, you
keep.
good.
So I got 2 points. One, this one's kind of like a story. The other day, no, I'll say the other one first. The first one is it hypocrisy for a person like me to use it for tasks that aren't art?
No, no, because
Okay.
art.
No.
Just real quick, the art field is the only thing that is. It's not mathematical. It can become that,
Hmm.
but then you'll end up hearing the same type of critique. Your stuff is lifeless. You got to work on your posing. You got to work on your dynamism. I guess, is that the word, or is it just dynamic or whatever?
Dynamics. I would say dynamics.
Dynamics. Yeah. So like, you gotta that. It's still the same thing. Artists run into it. The people who
Right.
focus on the circles and the dimensions, like, it's cool, but now work on your
Get
lighting.
loose. Get figure it out. Yeah. I feel you. I feel you.
So no, not for numbers, not for
Mhm.
things we already have been using calculators for.
Right. So my second point is the other day. This is like the story end. The other day I got a subscription to MLB. I was like, this is great. I'll watch baseball this season. I always miss the games, so this is nice. So I was like, in conjunction with this, I'm gonna use GPT to help me keep track of the games and stats and stuff like this. Right? So I'm thinking this is like I'm using this as Google at this point. This is glorified Google because I could just search this on Google,
For sure.
right? And I've been coming across it's wrong a lot of the time. And it's blowing my mind that it can make art just like this famous artist, but you can't tell me the stats of the game yesterday. That blows my mind.
Because it's literally, and this is exactly my point for the reverse 1% and the artist being the 1%. It's for what's being plugged in.
Don't nobody
You-
give a fuck about baseball.
No one's
it would
searching this.
know. Right. Fair.
But you
Damn,
see
I didn't even think about it like that.
So you
Okay.
see what I'm saying? You only able to get this type of stuff because this many people care about that.
It's just like Google.
Which is why this is a problem to me. This is why I'm on the side of it. I'm neutral and I don't give a fuck. I don't judge somebody for using it. But at mass, I'm gonna keep saying, just be wary of the repercussions. Anything that seems easy, be ready to eat ass at the end of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
If all this shit goes down right now, I still could go burn some wood and make a fire ass thing on a wall and it look like charcoal. I can go pick up a rock and scrape the fuck out of a street and make a bomb ass chalk drawing.
Mm-hmm.
I can write the words that are on my heart because I've articulated it so much on a wall with a rock or a stick. Like there's nothing you could take from me.
Right.
I can duplicate what I've been doing without the digital. I don't know where the world's going, but I still pause and love looking at graffiti shit on the wall or on a train. That shit's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know where it's going, but industrial part 2 is what it feels like.
And industrial, by that you mean like steel, shit like
Right.
that.
What happened as a result of everybody going to war and you know
Yeah.
how you had to come out of that recession. Like, yeah.
Like the brick in
Yes.
Bible times. Yeah.
That too. I feel like people, and this is a whole nother woo-woo side of the AI thing, but like as much as people don't like the topic of spirituality, it just feels like it's supposed to be mock spirituality. I feel like we're eventually barreling towards no longer using words because the communication is going to be through the technology. You don't have to move your lips no more. I feel like that's where we're going.
Damn, you think so?
I do.
Yikes.
Between Neuralink and Google coming up with robots, like, yeah.
Big
Either you make yourself part cyborg or you get yourself a robot. Like, you're going to pick a side, but humans are going to be the minority, I feel. Like, just ones that are unaltered. We're already at the brink of people not wanting kids because it's too expensive.
And they eat everything.
So it's not about race to me no more. It's not about... That's what I'm saying. I want to get to the bigger picture. Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
Next? I guess.
We're going to the
That's
ends
a-
of the
that's
world, baby.
What'd you say?
So we're going to the ends of the world with it.
Yep.
Well-
we finna fly this plane. We finna land that bitch right in the lava.
I'm gonna say this one more time. I don't think that. I think if humans end up removing themselves because of their own greed, the world gonna be fine. Again, in that analogy where you got some over your head and your toilet hooked up to your butt, you're not using anything that's gonna hurt the ozone, even though we already fucked it. You're not doing anything that's hurting the trees no more. You stationary.
Right.
And then you just die. You don't have kids. I mean, we ain't got to worry about no more of you no more after this.
Damn.
Natural selection. But the drug was technology.
Oh shit. Neil deGrasse Tyson. What the fuck?
I wish I could do
I ain't
that.
never thought about it like that. Like the shit. Natural selection, bro. The world popping pimples.
Mm-hmm.
Technology's the ointment. We're about to die. No, I'm just joking.
Dude.
But shit is hectic. Shit is. I definitely like. I can feel it dying down, and I want to just say, I'm still on the slow down side, but as an artist and as a person that loves technology, because y'all know me, I'm in this too. I'm
Yeah.
like watching it happen, and I'm curious. I'll never stop making art, and I'll never use AI to make my art for me. So I guess I'm taking the stance of no, but let me see what happens.
Yeah.
So I guess after this conversation, I do feel a little better. Like I probably won't have a visceral reaction seeing the Miyazaki thing after talking. Like all of the conversations I had were good about it, on both sides. So I guess I'm kind of ending more close to the neutral side. So yeah.
Yeah.
For you watching, just know, for us here in the U.S., we ain't got no choice. It's ramping up within the next 5 years, for at least 5 years. And by the
Yeah.
time Mr. Mans, who's in the office right now, when he gets out, I plan that's when we're gonna actually see whatever fruits his labor has been bearing. So, yeah,
Yeah.
Damn.
yep.
With that being said, man, we're gonna holler at y'all, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video, put down, if you do any type of artistry work, whether that be writing, drawing,
Hmm.
music, whatever it is, put it down in the comments. How do you feel about AI and where the country is going with the supercomputers and possibly iRobot? I'm gonna keep saying iRobot because it's definitely one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
You gonna buy you a robot, bro?
Shout out Big Willie
Just a quick question. Y'all gonna buy one when they
Yeah,
drop?
yeah,
to wash my clothes, probably
bro.
Probably.
dishes.
Anything to make my
Eh.
life easier, bro.
All right, that's
Yeah.
all. That's all. My fault.
But yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe, share. Yeah, put down in the comments how y'all feel, man, about everything that's going on. With that being said, man, we're gonna holler at y'all. Peace. Okay, post edit Midas here. I just want to say that there's a new trend going on with the AI art. I've been seeing a lot of people make themselves into, like, what is it, the Family Guy style, and turn themselves into Muppets. I just want to say, where is the uproar for that? That's all I'm saying. Everybody was going crazy about the Ghibli style, but I see no one going crazy over people turning themselves into Muppets and people doing the Family Guy style. I don't know if the Family Guy style is as popular, really. I've seen it a few times, but I see more of the Muppet stuff. So yeah, if there is any discourse around that too, I'm not seeing it on my timeline like I was seeing it with the Ghibli stuff, but if it is, feel free to tag me in the discourse because I want to see it. It's Hell or Midas on everything: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Yeah, tag me, and I'm out. Post Edit Midas out.